Ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday. Welcome to Finish the Story. I am your host, Keegan Ray. I'm joined here by my co-host, producer, and best friend, Mr. Trent Ludzak. Dude, we made it to 100.
We made it to 100.
Can you fucking believe that?
It's crazy because I keep not remembering it.
Me
and it surprises me every time I do.
Every week that I go to upload the video, I'm like, God damn, dude.
Yeah. Every time I have to make a folder for the files every week.
If I'm being honest, pull back the curtain here. I really thought I was going to be out when I had the kids. Like, I was telling you that I could do it.
Me too. I knew you were fucking
the back of
lying.
my mind, I was like, dude, I got it. Like, God, I hope she lets me have Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Like,
I knew you were lying for sure.
But hey, here we are.
And it's weird because you didn't, until right now, have never been like, I thought I was going to be done. Until this moment. You just kept it up. You said, I'll do it. And then you just did. And I was just more surprised every week.
I think I was just like, if I just don't even have to, like, see that as a reality. You know what I'm saying?
I've been over here like, damn, absent father here.
I know, right? So I always text right before. But you already know when we're on the same side of the table, we got a motherfucking guest. And I'm excited for our guest today, man. We got the hilarious Zach Howard.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's me. Hey,
what up,
guys. Congrats on your 100th episode. I brought a gift. Hold on.
Oh, what?
A gift? I was 80% sure you were shifting and going to just fart.
No. I brought you guys a real-ass gift, okay? 100 is cool. You know, it's not really, really like 2 years is what?
Yeah.
It's 104. So you guys have another month, but whatever. It's exciting nonetheless. I saw this today, and I thought of you guys, man. This is defamed Penn State head coach Joe Paterno on the cover of college football. Don Heinrich's College Football 1987.
Yeah.
You guys know him, right? From the sex
I'm aware.
scandal.
Yeah, those are the glasses that he wore so he could
this
look
bag
the other
says
way.
iPhone 13 Pro Max.
Oh, so you got a deal.
So I don't know if the bag, if you want to separate this into two different gifts.
Nice.
Did you?
But that's for you guys.
Did you go to Social Space today?
No, I found this.
This is amazing.
I found this on my travels today.
This is amazing.
Where did you go?
I went everywhere. I'm not feeling super great. I got a bit of hay fever.
Yeah.
And so I left my office today at like 3 o'clock and just went to every thrift store in Marietta and saw that. It's $2.75.
Bro, thrift stores are not
100
for
your 100th episode.
No,
it's worth it.
Bro, you're like, I have hay fever. Let me go to the dustiest store I can.
Yeah. Let me make this worse.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah,
I could put that in a thing and you guys can hang it up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. We'll do something
Best
with
for
it.
you
I got
guys.
you. I'll put it away.
Oh yeah.
Man, speaking of the hay fever, I had. Do you have anything for your kids to like suction the snot out of their nose, dude? I had. No, we had an automatic one. I had to get it out. I used it the other day. That shit works. Yeah. I wish I would have known about it when I was doing coke. You know, I was like, dude, this thing fucking rules, dude.
Wait, the thing
No, I have like a little handheld one that you just shove up in there and it just suctions it out. It's disgusting though because it's see-through, so you get to see what's coming out of your fucking nose.
That's crazy people stuff. I've seen ladies on TikTok put their mouth over their kid's nose and just
no,
and then just spit it out.
Fucking way, dude.
Rambo style.
I'm not
Rambo
siphoning snot out of my daughter's nose. Yeah. That's crazy.
I almost threw up when you said that.
My God, dude.
If I was a little drunker.
That's crazy to think about.
I'm not saying I do it, but
this
more power to you.
I don't know.
Does your wife do that or something?
No, we have just the little
out.
thing, and then we may have an automatic thing too. That does
it's nice. It has like music on it.
Yeah,
dude, their face is crazy. Like the face they make when you put it in their nose, because they're like, "Oh, what is this?" And then it starts suctioning out, and they're just like,
pull a whole goddamn sinus out.
Yeah, because I was like, I gotta try it just to see how it feels before I do it to them.
You were trying it?
Yeah, dude, I was stopped up. I was like, I have to. This has got to go somewhere. I was so stopped up when I took a drink of water, it felt like I was drowning. You know what I mean?
Now,
where you're like,
I don't want to be obtuse, but a machine like that could give probably like a blowjob to a tiny, tiny penis.
I mean, I thought about the technology. Absolutely. When I used it, I said, this could this could be used.
We could convert this.
It's got it made me think of the auto blow.
Somebody's tried it, I'm sure.
Made me think of the auto blow. Somebody definitely was like.
I think the auto blow is going to be superior to just straight suction. So I think like the market's already been tapped, or like somebody's already beaten that idea. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think we're too close to the fucking AI sex robots
for sure.
Really, there to be any kind of.
We're there, I think. I think we're in there.
They're around. You think they're walking around? They're in these bars.
I'm a sex toy.
They're on Instagram.
That's kind of my whole.
Yeah, you got to take your homie to the side of the bar. You're like, dude, she's a robot.
That's a sex. Bro, like that what? Is not a real lady. That's a sex toy robot.
Yeah, dude, you're getting trapped by a robot.
Christ, dude. Like, no, dude, she's cool.
She's gonna get all of your data, bro. You're gonna wake up
the
same thing over and over again.
Oh my God, what a dark place it's gonna be.
I can't wait, dude.
A sex robot though could help. That could help a lot of like angry men.
I don't think so. Probably not. It'd be like Blade Runner.
Yeah. I'm thinking more Blade Runner.
Yeah, it'd be like Blade Runner.
Because here's the thing: the robot's not going to be happy about. No,
that. you're saying sex robot revolution.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we got to have some sort of. I mean, already, I'm preparing for.
Bro,
a sex
and
robot
they like
revolution.
play a video of the way that you treated them. You're like, you're a robot. Oh no!
All it would take is for the robot to be aware of the grievance that is taking place.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's like, how far away?
Then the robot's like, human women don't want to fuck this one. Why would I?
Oh my God, the
and then you're getting rejected by
from an AI robot would be devastating, dude.
Yeah.
Do you use ChatGPT ever?
Fuck no.
I don't either.
I know people in my life who use it every day,
all the time.
Why are you doing that? Why are you using this every single day of your life, telling it all your secrets, dude?
Christina's like, people will send you an email that's like, that's my girlfriend, is like 3 sentences. And she's like, you can tell they ChatGPT'd it. Where you're like, God damn, dude.
That's a level of lazy that I can't even type out like a 3-sentence email. No. I'm better than that.
I think that's going to come back to bite us, you know? People are going to just not be able to talk to each other.
But also, like,
nah, shit, everything is going to collapse, dude. There's not going to be AI in 20 years. We're going to be digging up potatoes in the ground, trying to eat bugs and shit. That's what we're going to be doing.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure.
I hope so.
But here's the thing. Didn't Plato also basically say this about writing? He's like, don't write shit down. Was it Plato or Socrates? It was one of them. Was the student.
That's what they said about the printing press.
He was like, don't write shit down. It hurts your memory. Yeah. He's like, your natural memory you can remember everything you ever need to know. And when you start writing stuff down, you start forgetting.
He's not wrong, though.
But here's I've never got that. Like, I heard that. I'm like, that's fucking stupid. But now I'm like looking at AI and I'm like, oh no.
I'm pretty sure about
history repeats.
The printing press. They were like, yo, dude, what the fuck? We can't have the printing press, dude. People will be reading instead of working.
That's insane.
You know, everybody can't have books. They'll be reading.
Yeah, some guy's on the train looking around. Everybody's on a newspaper. He's like, look at all these fucking people distracted.
Just fucking noses in books. Disconnected from real life.
I remember a time, not a newspaper in sight.
We all just stared out the fucking window and just hated it.
Thinking about how much we hate our families.
Thinking about killing our families. Yeah. Moving out west and killing our families.
Because, dude.
And doing that eventually, you know, really formulating a plot.
That's what a lot of those guys did. I feel like just went out west, killed their families.
It happened so many times, I feel like.
Think about this, dude. Like, now it's just a daydream. But back then, like, you could literally do it. It was like something that was pulling at you where you could legitimately just leave the town.
What they said when the West is calling. They're like, God damn, my kids are fucking
annoying. You're like, man, one real tough night.
Yeah, I could go.
And then I'm going west, and it's fine. It's
I'll be a whole new person, dude. New name.
Yeah.
Iowa sounds
I'm like,
yeah, dude. How is San Francisco? It's got to be better than this shit.
I feel like what's the chances that you guys think
Idaho?
Keegan, I feel like Zach, you would have done that.
Oh, taking my family out west and Chris Benoit them?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably something I would.
Well, no, the key is you Chris Benoit them and then leave.
Yeah, and then go back east. And then they're like, what happened?
No, I'm saying you're out east, you murder, and then you go west. Yeah.
Oh, murder before
I like taking my family west.
Well, because
then come back east and then be like, what are you talking about?
I mean, I get it.
Not just leave them, put them in a foreign city so they have no contacts.
The problem with that is now you have to get west with a family.
Yeah, but that's
without a car.
Fine, dude. I got a strong ass family, dude.
Without a car, that sounds like a nightmare.
I got a robust wife and two strong sons.
And then what if on the journey you start to like love them or something, and you got to question the whole thing?
No.
No, it's somebody who, car trips with your family. That's only going to strengthen your decision.
No. I'll tell you right now.
I made the right decision.
I'll tell you right now what happens. I go west. We stop in Utah. I receive a vision from God. He gives me 2 golden plates. I interpret them.
Okay.
And then I start my own religion.
Yeah, a little polyamory.
Yeah. And then I say, I got 70 wives.
Yeah, first things first. God said I get tons of wives. Tons of pussy.
Right out the gates. Yeah. First things first. I just spilled this beer. First things first. I get all the wives.
Yeah. All the pussy is from me. God said so.
God That's told me. His angel came to me. Told me that I could have as much pussy as I want, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I mean, dude, that guy must have been such a good
He was
talker.
like
Actually, God said that it's a sin if you're mad about it. So, so you're not even allowed to be mad.
Some horny 15-year-old was like, I get to fuck all the ladies.
Yeah. Somebody's like, I think you're full of shit. God's mad about that.
Yeah.
He was 15?
I think he was like 16
when he first did it. Yeah, he was like a child.
But I think
when the grift began.
But I also think he buried like the stories maybe that the angel Moroni visited him when he was 16, and then he was able to see the plates or whatever, and then he transcribed it, but then he buried it.
Yes, well, he was supposed to. He wasn't allowed. That's part of the cover story. Is like the angel showed me these plates, but then was like, "Hey, but you can't bring these anywhere, and you can't show anybody, and you got to bury it."
Have you seen the cool ass Mormon cartoons?
Wait, like
there's like educational. It's like from
like
the Mormon
the Chick-fil-A
church.
Books that used to come in the
Happy
Meals,
and they'll show like the angel Moroni, and he's like a 6'4" white guy with like blonde hair. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, dude. The Mormon cartoons, dude. Play a little bit of this, dude. Play a little bit of this.
I love this.
This is good stuff. This is all I know about Mormonism is just watching these.
To be honest, I mostly know about it from South Park.
South Park too, for sure. And then I've watched a bunch of documentaries about Mormonism. But these are poorly drawn.
Here's the thing. Mormonism is cool because it is space Christianity.
I like that they drew tits on this lady.
Yeah.
Despite
I like that
this
too.
being
This
like
is crazy, dude. This is like this is insane.
Yeah, these guys would go on to do the Lord of the Rings animated movie.
It looks like The Hobbit. That's what I was going to say. It really,
it
really does look like the animated Hobbit, though, like the
Very
original
similar.
one.
It does. That's why
I mean, man. All right, cool.
I mean, I would maybe join sci-fi Christianity at some point.
All right, so let's say not even if you were making all that up. The balls on you to just go with that lie and just keep telling it. You have to be the most charismatic person ever.
There were so many people doing it though. Like especially what is like 18? It's probably like the middle 1800s, late 1800s.
I think so. Was
Joseph
it that?
Smith? Peep it, dude. I'm gonna get my Joseph Smith facts right, dude. We got this before
1830.
There were so many fucking dumbasses running around being like, "Yo,
they just were looking for something." And you're like, "I got you, space Christianity."
Yeah, and this one was, and like this, like all great cults, is centered around being able to fuck as many ladies as possible. It just happened before. It was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think the sales pitch of Mormonism is the strongest in the Christian-ish religions, Christian Bible-based.
Mormonism has the best pitch.
I think it's the strong because here's the thing: like you'll worship God and be happy for eternity, is the pitch of the Christianity I was given.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mormonism is you will become the god of your own planet.
You have your own plan.
Whoa. Okay. I like that.
That's a strong pitch.
Okay, that's a real strong pitch.
Like from a sales perspective.
They said golden roads in heaven. Hey, being the god of my own planet, that's rules.
Yeah. And all you have to
do
in
the 1830s
is wear full body underwear, dude. If you put on full body underwear and have 55 fucking wives and 200 kids.
And let your dad wash you underneath the temple one time.
Dude, you know about the washings. TJ likes to tell this story a lot, but there's a they didn't let black people into Mormonism for a long time.
I think that's
it's like the 60s probably.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a tough look.
When did Mormons
except blacks?
That's
crazy. That's Google's question. That's not my question.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Right.
Internet connection's a little low. 78.
Whoa, dude.
1978.
That's insane.
We had long been on the moon. Allegedly. But they up until like 78, they did this thing Trent was talking about, where like your father would take you into like a sacred washroom and he would wash the space in between your butthole and your nuts.
Whoa.
And then they started
taint wash?
Yeah, they started letting black people in, and black people were like, nuh-uh.
Yeah.
No,
dude,
we're not doing that.
What a tough sell to a black guy. Yeah. You're like,
and they were like, yeah, you're right. They
I'm going to give you a little taint touch-up.
Had an immediate vote about it. And they were like, you know what? The angel Moroni actually came to us and said, we don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, because that's still the story, right? Is that like the angel still shows up and is like,
no
hey.
idea
and then just like at, when they absolutely have to, is like, hey, it just so happens that right at like the point where it would seriously damage your religion, God is allowing you to make this change.
To be honest with you, Trent, and I could be wrong about this, I think a lot of the late changes to Mormonism, I watched this documentary on Netflix about this guy who forged a bunch of documents and gave them to the Mormon church, but there was like, and then he tried to like bomb the Mormon church and like blew his hands off on it.
We were getting excited. We were like, pranks. That's awesome.
I was like
a little hijinks.
It's a fucking cool documentary. This guy, he got a little wild and he tried to do some bombing.
Yeah, it goes like that, dude.
But I think that they made a lot of these changes based on like this like revival of like new Mormon documents in the 70s and 80s that were obviously just like the Mormon church trying to be like, yeah, we got to let black people in. That's crazy,
hey, you know what doesn't look good? Yikes. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
We can't be not letting black people into this.
Damn, that's crazy. And then they just picked Utah? Where did Utah come?
I think they started in like Missouri or something.
And then they're like, Utah.
So the truth is, I listened to a long-ass podcast series about it a long time ago. But what I remember is they started somewhere in Missouri, and they went through like 3 different founding towns where they were just like run out of the state by the local government. Because we're talking, early 1800s here. Sometimes the governor can just be like, I'm calling the National Guard.
And they just showed up to fuck everything up. They were like cowboys back then.
Yeah.
That was a rough time too.
There's a whole bunch of stories of Mormons moving out west, fighting with Native Americans. There's huge sects of Mormons that would settle in like Tijuana. Especially the Mormons that...
Well, that was Mitt Romney's family, right?
Yeah. Mitt Romney's family is from Mexico.
Yeah.
He was born here. They would drive up here and have their kids so that they would be legal citizens.
Yeah.
And then they would...
There's some people whose only like encounter with white people is that. And they're just like, whoa. White people are fucking weird, man.
Yeah, dude, we gotta chill on the Mormonism stuff, dude. I just finished. I was saying before we started the pod, I just finished. I got like 10 minutes left. That documentary on Jonestown. Same kind of deal there, dude. Just one radical white guy.
Insane. Well, the crazy thing about Jonestown is that Jim Jones had such a long history of helping people. As like a preacher who was doing charity and like in an interracial relationship long before, like married to a black woman long before that was like a thing.
He adopted a black son, gave him his name, Jim Jones Jr.
The duality of man.
Well, and then he discovered meth, I think.
Yeah,
is really he discovered meth and was like, let's make a compound. And then he got to the compound and just wanted to preach over a loudspeaker for
sure
16 hours a day or whatever.
Yeah, he was...
that probably felt so good, just to be all methed up and just talking. And everybody's just like, yeah.
There's a great quote about Jones. And it's like, if Jim Jones had died in like... If 1969 had come and gone and Jim Jones had died in a car accident, he would have been remembered along the lines of Martin Luther King Jr.
Whoa. Yeah. And he just got a little methy and then went a little crazy.
Yeah, he was pretty convinced. I think he was probably a schizophrenic. And he was pretty convinced that the whole time, throughout the whole kind of thing, that the CIA and the FBI were kind of like... bearing down his neck or whatever, and they were going to get him, which none of that stuff was true. And then he started doing meth, just like Trent said, and he moved all of his people to Guyana because he was like, we got to get away from the CIA. They're going to get us.
Jesus.
And then he would like stage all of these fake, he called them white knights or something, and they were like fake insurrections onto their compound where he'd wake everybody up in the middle of the night, rally the troops, and all
basic training,
false flag his own people.
That's crazy.
And then eventually he was, he started talking about like how you got to start planning your own death, and death is the ultimate freedom, and we gotta take control. They're gonna get us.
Somebody was like, "Wait a minute."
A lot of people,
like somebody got the tone shift. Like, huh?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
at the
50
end,
or so people were like, "Bye."
Have you listened to the tape?
Yeah, that's what
Spoiler
I was listening
alert.
to in the car. Yeah, it's rough.
The tape. So there's a tape.
The death tape.
You can
45 minutes.
Oh
death
no,
tape.
it's like the Grizzly Man.
It's an audio of like his microphone that he the service.
The final service.
Yeah. The service where it was actively happening, and you can hear in the background that a lot of people are not having a great time.
It is very unsettling. That's
It's
what
hard,
I was listening to in the car, like a psycho.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. That's the best when you like pull up to the drive-through and they're like, Jesus Christ,
dude,
what are you
people at Jonestown kill themselves?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Can I get a medium iced latte?
Let me get a triple Baconator.
That's crazy. I thought everybody took it at the same time. So you're saying it was...
I mean, it was like 600 people. 900. There's 900, you know? Logistically
so
doing it
like
at the same... It was like a line.
Yeah, come up, get your flavor aid.
And it was what? Children first.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, it's really sad, honestly.
That's crazy.
Tough time.
And he was like...
And some of them got shot because they were like, no, I will not do this. So
I didn't know that. I thought everybody went willingly.
Some of them did, but not... I mean, based on the sounds, what would you guess? Like maybe 25%.
I think the people who were like in it and real, because like the truth is like a vast majority of those people were just poor black people who just old people, like who just didn't have another place to go. And when they moved to Guyana, they were like, I mean, I could live in the fucking ghetto here, or I can move to Guyana and live in this utopia that they're claiming.
Yeah, this commune.
Yeah.
And then you get there and it's like, I guess
it's just a work
this
camp
is what
with
we're
Jim Jones on the
doing?
loudspeaker.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is the magic sort of wore off in Guyana. Like people could see Jim Jones and there's all these recordings of him coming on the mic and just being like, fucking, and people are like, what is happening?
Yeah. Imagine being like
guy.
fucking 25 in that line. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, dude, lots of people were.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you can cut.
I'm trying to do the same thing, but in Utah right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You pin it on the Mormons.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Dude,
That's a little Freaky Friday. I liked it.
I mean, I've started my cult.
Friday the 13th, dude.
No, we did Freaky Friday where the idea was we were going to...
Hit this button.
That's fine.
You're fine. Okay. Just be careful.
As far as I know, those buttons don't. You know, none of us turned our mic stands on.
Oh
shit!
Let's do this.
On?
Yeah.
Did I do it?
Yep.
Whoa!
So now, if you tap the side closest to you, you can pick your color.
Yeah, we've actually talked about cults a lot. I think my favorite cult.
I mean, I have a cult, Keegan.
Yeah, was the Japanese one.
Oh yeah, I gave him the down low on what were they called?
I don't remember, but they did like the Joker from Batman. They did like nerve gas.
They were like
train.
doing supervillain shit. Like they had a plan to drop LSD out of helicopters on the city of Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were gonna drop bombs?
No, they were gonna drop LSD. Was like one of the original plans, but then they ended up with just trying to sarin gas the whole Tokyo train station.
Dude, we were talking about this the other day.
Happen?
Oh,
90s.
Yeah.
That's cool stuff.
What the fuck is that? Shinrikyo.
Whoa, what a pull. You just looked over in nowhere and pulled that out of your brain. That's crazy.
I mean, I've been thinking about it for the last minute.
I thought you looked it up over there.
I was about to, and then
over here on the wall.
Just a list of cults. You're like, that's my inspiration.
Yeah. No, that was a fun call. No, it wasn't a fun call. It was pretty fucked up.
I've been in the presence of a real cult.
Me too.
I'm just thinking about it right now.
You
I
heard
went
it.
to Canada one time, and there was like there there was like a Jesus cult out in Canada. A guy was like in a robe, long hair, long beard, just hot ass ladies. He had like 20 hot.
That's how they get you, dude. That's how the Manson family got going.
Yeah,
they had the hot chicks.
Put a couple of hot crazy ladies together.
yeah, people are like, I'll hear what they got to say.
I mean, Scientology had like a plan in place where they were like having hot chicks approach dudes.
I mean, honeypot.
Like, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. You guys hear about the new Antichrist, the new AC?
I saw a reel about it. I wonder if it's the same thing.
Dude, I love where we're going.
Honestly, I did a...
Bro, we don't even need a story of this.
Is it the new Pope? Who's the Antichrist? Who's the new Antichrist?
So the new Pope, I don't know that.
I mean, he's from Chicago. Antichrist is pretty...
Who are they saying the Antichrist?
So there's a guy. He's not the Antichrist, or he's not claiming to be the Antichrist. Who knows?
I don't think.
I don't know, but there's a guy.
By the way, I'm gonna Google none of this. I just want your take.
Yes, yeah.
There's a guy, and I don't know where the fuck he is, but that's fun. You guys in unison taking the drink like ZZ Top or something. There's a guy, and he seems to be American. I think he's Egyptian American. I can't remember his name, but he's the leader of this sort of religious political movement that I think has been sort of going on for the past 4 or 5 years. It looks like he's had some sort of presence on the internet for the past 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. He's like a guy who wears a beanie. He's like a fucking dumbass. And he's talking about being the successor of Christ and Muhammad and all this stuff. And he's got a whole bunch of hot ladies in his cool cult chamber. And
so what's the over-under on when that guy kills himself with multiple people?
I think it could be soon. I also think that, to be fair, it could just be the setup. This could be the trailer to a movie.
Yeah, it's like a Netflix is doing
honestly,
Netflix is doing some great advertising. You're like somebody's shit.
They've been putting videos on the internet for 5 years so they could release this movie. You know
that
what
would
I mean?
be awesome.
Because it's like A24
knows? Is getting crazy.
Who knows? Nothing is real. Like all these videos, they look crazy. Google the new Antichrist, dude. Look at him. Look at his chamber.
Yeah, I would like to see what he looks like.
Let's see if we can get out.
Because I know that people were freaking out when Trump got the attempted assassination because they say
a picture of Obama comes up.
They say in the Bible that the Antichrist is supposed to survive a head injury. So I know when Trump got shot, dude. And that was a big deal. A lot of people were saying. I
got you, Trent. Hold on. I'll figure out what you need to Google.
The new Antichrist this year on Netflix.
Yeah, Abdullah Hashim.
Okay.
Abdullahh.
First
Hashim.
American
cleric, guy, dude.
This
is him,
dude.
This is him. The new AC, brother. They talking about this guy.
No way.
I'm telling you. Look at his church. See if you can find a fucking. Go back to the YouTube. He has a YouTube channel.
I mean,
what is they're the Ahmadi Religion of Peace and Light. Google that.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
You gonna
the symbol I like.
I mean,
they got everything covered. Cool symbol, cool name.
I was
post-Islamic new religious movement.
Yeah, and they're like he's pretty hip to this idea that like we're the Antichrist, that America is the Antichrist. So that's what his message is, that the Bible talks about a one-eyed Antichrist, and we use a lot of messianic symbolism in.
So he reversed us on everybody saying that he's the Antichrist. He's like, no, you are the Antichrist.
Google the name, whatever it's called, the Ahmadi Religion of Peace. See if you can peep at the spot they got. They got a cool little cult place they're meeting.
Oh, they got a nice little church.
Yeah. They got like a bust, like a head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of this right here. He's got like all kinds of weird paintings.
That
and
is some crazy art, but like that looks like the kind of art that like a guy who gets hired to do a mural at a coffee shop,
or like the side of a van.
Yeah,
it's like airbrush art.
Yeah, he's doing the chalk art. Dude, is that a chalkboard?
Like this isn't like it's not a Da Vinci or anything like that.
So anyway, I like this guy. I converted to this. Today.
Okay, perfect.
So
Religion of Peace and Light.
You guys want to convert to?
I mean, I got to hear him speak. I would have to.
Yeah,
I'd have
you
to
don't
hear.
need to hear
No. We don't have to play it here. I would have to.
I said I wasn't going to look anything up.
What are you doing right now? What are you guys doing right now? Agnosticism? This is way better, dude.
Yeah.
At least this is something.
That's what he's saying from the pulpit.
Yeah.
At least this is something, dude. I mean, what are you doing? Nothing.
Fucking nothing.
Nothing. Fucking loser. You're like, God damn, he's got a point. Sitting there watching it on the toilet. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, dude. That's the cool thing about Jim Jones, dude. He didn't believe in God.
Really?
Yeah, no, he didn't believe in him.
So was he giving meth out to everybody, or was he just
him, dude.
man,
that's
just privately tweaking?
That's probably the reason that, like, you see the pictures of him in the late days. He's always wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, because his eyes.
It's because he didn't want people to see his eyes were fucking crazy.
Oh my god, he looked like a deer in headlights. Just
But because here's the thing, like any picture you've seen where he looks menacing in those sunglasses, imagine how silly that motherfucker would look if he didn't. He'd be like,
god. It's like when you watch that video of JFK at the Bay of Pigs. My man is fucking going. They shot his ass up with that fighter pilot speed.
Geeked.
We cannot. His fucking jaws going. You're like, damn, dude. They shoot you up with that for like a 10-minute speech. Then what?
Do you guys have a Zapruder on your phone like I do? You guys keep a copy of it?
A copy of it? No, I keep mine physically in Blu-ray. Yeah, it's in a safe.
It's on my Google Drive, but every now and then I download it and I watch it in slow motion and I go, who the fuck shot this dumbass?
I like to do it in public. Hey, what do you think?
What do you guys think? Watch this, dude. Have you seen this?
Yeah. Finish the story. We do a man on the street interviews where we go around.
I show people this Zapruder.
Just show people. Just show kids and shit.
Yeah, with the iPad. You're like,
hey. Come here.
Get off the monkey bars. Come here.
Sir, you can't be at a school showing people.
Sir, do you have a child
the Zapruder
here?
film.
Technically, they're all my
I can
children.
do whatever the fuck I want, dude.
Today we're showing people at a nursing home the Zapruder film.
I'm down.
He showed my mom.
He showed my Meemaw fucking. She saw it on TV. She didn't see it again.
Now she won't shut up about Hollow Earth. Who the fuck are these guys? We're doing like fucking symposiums at the nursing home.
Yo.
And that's why the moon is hollow.
That's why we had giants, you fucking dumbasses. I mean, you guys see Abraham Lincoln talked about the giants. I watched a fucking whole ass video.
And that is
Abraham
why they
Lincoln
erased Tartaria.
You see this? Google it.
What?
Abraham Lincoln was talking about the giants. Google it.
No.
Dude, no, I do love the Giants. I do love the Giants.
The Giants is a fun.
It's so fun.
Why is he talking about them?
Because who gives a shit, man?
Dude,
about the Giants?
Yeah.
I give a shit. What do you mean?
Why?
Because we got these huge ass mounds in Ohio and no one's explaining anything.
It's fun and the world's falling apart. Let me just fucking have something.
Yes, 100%.
Let me have something. Maybe they're running around.
Nothing is going to get better. I want to know what's going on.
Guys, we have giants at home, which is aliens.
This is like the end of a movie, and if they're not going to tell me all the things, and I just get blown up, or my family freezes to death, or the sea rises, or whatever the fuck is going to happen, and I don't get to know who killed JFK, what happened to those fucking towers, why Tower 7 fell. If I don't get to know a handful of things before the things go tits up, this is the worst movie of all time.
And it is. It's going to be the worst movie of all time. It's been oversold. It's been overhyped. There's no way it can live up to the expectation.
So how do you confront that with your children?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You know, like
peace and love.
Yeah. Because it's like, I want my kids to believe in space, kind of like Santa, you know, but eventually I'm going to have to hit them with the real facts of like, we didn't go to the moon. Like we might be on a flat plane.
I think what I'd like to do is give my kids the same tools that I have, dude. Full-blown retardation and autism. Yeah, and hopefully
think about homeschooling.
Yeah, hopefully they'll just find the right videos and articles and they'll put it together.
If anybody tells you they know what happened on 9/11, you
wrong.
Tell them they're a goddamn liar.
Son, I hope that the almighty algorithm blesses you with a better feed than me.
You guys remember when there was no algorithm and you had to get on YouTube and be like,
System of a Down.
You had to be like, Dancing Jews 9/11 real footage.
Yeah.
And then you had to be like, I don't think that's the
Rudy
one.
Giuliani talking about the towers going down. That's my favorite video
A
from that
guy
day.
who says that he heard explosions on the main, on the main.
That is my favorite video where he's like, "Are you safe?" He goes, "Oh no, they told us the second tower is going down. We're safe on 75th." The guy's like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like, cut.
I do that. I do a bit on stage about Sandy Hook, but man, dude, 2011, dude, I was knee deep in that bullshit.
Oh man, yeah, that's a tough one.
So fun. That's
yeah.
fun. Who cares?
No, but I'm saying it's like
anything.
a crowds that'll really divide a crowd.
Oh, it never doesn't work. It's the best bit ever. I just point to somebody in the audience and I'm like, y'all fucking give it up for Trent. That's my favorite guy. And then I make everybody clap. And I'm like, he tells me all kinds of cool stuff about Sandy Hook.
That's fucking amazing.
I've heard you do that. It's great. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Love that.
And then everybody feels stupid for clapping for Trent.
They're like, oh no.
I feel like when I've seen you do it, like a quarter of the audience just doesn't get it.
Yeah, some people gasp. One time a lady went,
yeah.
I did it last night. I said, R.I.P. those kids. Probably.
Allegedly. Hey, be careful hitting it on the table.
Sorry,
Little pickup.
That's autism.
R.I.P.
That's
those
autism,
kids. Probably is so funny.
Dude, I took my kids. We didn't talk about this on an episode we put out, but I took my kids to the museum, and I was just kidding with my girlfriend while we were walking around in the space part. I was just like, dude, allegedly. She was like, stop doing that. I kept going. I was like, girls, dinosaur bones were put here to test our faith.
Yeah. You guys want to see the moon landing? Watch 2001: A Space Odyssey, dude.
Well, the real move is that the dinosaur bones are just giant bones that they set up to look like dinosaurs.
I've heard that.
Really? That's the giant's bones?
Yeah.
I've also heard
that might be more terrifying than a chicken.
Yeah, I heard this thing. I saw this thing the other day that they were like, "Yo, dog, something that we don't do right when it comes to dinosaur bones is." They're stretching the skin real tight on these dinosaurs, but like other animals don't have real tight ass
skin.
So like it may be the case that like they had loose ass skin and we didn't know about it. How crazy would that be? Fucking raptors are chickens and T-Rexes have loose ass skin.
So you're talking about the world coming to an end and we need to get some information. I want to see a dinosaur. We got it. We got Jurassic Park technology. We brought back those fucking wolves.
Have you guys seen? There is. They
brought back the dire wolves.
Yeah, let's get a raptor.
Dude,
let's get that going.
Reels from that company like a month before the dire wolf story came out. And, like, it was just their pitch, and it was literally just the Jurassic Park pitch, where they're like, we're taking...
It's the lady.
They're like, it's literally just like a lady on a stage at, like, a TED Talk type thing.
Old
just
man in a white linen suit.
So she's like, so what
wolf DNA.
Yeah, what we're doing is we're taking the DNA of extinct species and we're adjusting it slightly so that they can live in our ecosystem.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna start making them as attractions.
They're like, 1,000,000 years ago, a wolf was bit by a mosquito. And the amber came down. That's
I'm DNA.
Keegan, you got to get that tattoo.
I am getting that tattoo, Dino DNA. Every time I think about it, I laugh, and I'm like, I got to get it.
That rules, man. I hope they bring back all the animals. Dude, what the fuck are we doing?
What are we doing?
What is going to happen? Like, think about when you were a kid, man. We're all about the same age, man. When we were kids, dude, it was just regular stuff, right? Pokemon cards, Hot Wheels, whatever, dude. You had to go up. You had to dig a hole if you wanted to look at pornography, dude. You couldn't do anything.
Now trans porn is on the front page.
I'm 33 years old, dude. I'm not even that old. We're not that old. We used to nothing. It's crazy. We used to have music and movies and regular stuff, and now it's just violence. You know, it's just Trent and I can't even get along, dude.
I know. We fight every time we see each other.
No, I don't know.
I just suddenly I'm like, wait, are we fighting?
Yeah, we're fighting. I don't know, man. Yeah, I hope people just.
I hope we get dinosaurs. I would love it for all the autistic people out there. That would be a huge win.
The question is, that'd
be huge.
What is white trash America gonna do with access to dinosaurs?
Get killed
because they do crazy stuff.
They're gonna get killed.
I mean, a lot of them, but the ones that survive are going to be stronger.
You think they ride them?
I think it would be like dogs, and they would get bastardized. I think they're going to eat them.
I think they might poach them out of existence again.
Dude, dinosaur eggs might be incredible though. Like,
maybe they might be horrible because they're like. I mean, it depends how lizardy they are, you know.
Oh, true. I don't know. I thought they were like
chickens. Depends on how lizardy their eggs are.
No, but I think they're like chickens, right? Isn't that what they said? They had feathers?
It depends on the dinosaur, but I mean, honestly, guys, the Earth is 8,000 years old. Dinosaurs are not real.
Dude, my buddy's mother-in-law is like, they've had arguments at the dinner table, and he's had to like get up and walk out because they don't believe in any evolution, and they don't believe in dinosaurs. He's like, dude, when I heard the no dinosaurs, it's like, bro, get away from my children. Like, that's crazy. Dude.
You have to at least follow that with those are giant bones, or else you're a loony.
Yeah. If you just think that they just fucking that's plaster or something, dude. But I mean, a lot of the bones that they have on display aren't real. I think is the rip. So you do the math.
Yeah, liberals. It's kind of like when people start talking about like NASA lying. You're like, I don't know enough to argue.
They are lying.
You're like,
they are lying. Have you seen the videos? Of
it was started by Nazis.
The fucking
true
the wires.
Nobody talks about that. Not enough.
Not
enough.
It was started
by Nazis.
I get crushed by these videos of them like pulling wires and videos.
That's what I mean. When you start getting in that algorithm, you're like, I don't know why they're lying.
That's why it stopped.
Go to space, dude. Why can't we just go to space?
No, what got me, the thing that really got me was when they legitimately told me we lost the technology that we used to go to space.
To go to space?
What? That was not even a good lie. Like, that's fucking crazy.
That's why I respect Mad Mike Hughes. The greatest flat earther to ever live.
Mad respect for the.
Did you ever meet that guy?
No.
The Rocket Man.
Shot him. Oh, the guy who shot himself up.
The guy who's.
I mean, did you meet him? No. You just asked me if I ever met that guy.
No, but that guy.
I think that would have been mentioned way earlier in this conversation.
That guy's with that, dude.
That guy might be the greatest white trash man to ever exist.
I mean, yeah, he did it once.
He did it 3 times.
Yeah, and then the 3rd time he died.
Yeah. Hey, that's a man that's about business, dude. Like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking show you guys.
Here's the thing: the fact, like, have you ever wanted to know one of those giant, unknowable questions so much? That you were like, I'm gonna do this in my garage right now.
Yeah, I'm getting on this bottle rocket and I'm figuring it out.
I'm gonna.
Were you guys hip to the final experiment?
What is that?
Yeah.
What is that?
I actually knew about it when it happened.
What is
the final experiment was this like crowd-funded thing where they were gonna take a certain number of flat earthers and a certain number of globers, as it were, to Antarctica to observe the winter solstice.
Okay.
And then essentially the argument was like, if the sun sets, right, because the sun would be over here in a flat earth because it moves like this, right, that was a flat earth. But if the sun stays and essentially just sort of like right here, then that's on the axis, the earth is sort of like rotating with the sun or whatever. And a bunch of those flat earth guys backed out at the last minute.
That's how it goes.
And then they did go, and sure enough, wouldn't you know it, dude? Sun the whole ass time.
Wow.
But even like the comments on the videos were like, green screen.
That's what
fucking green screen.
Hey, deep fake. Hey, why didn't they go to the ice wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to know maybe about... see, we've been hip to the idea that the Earth is round. These are the facts, but it's huge. Right, and they're not telling us.
Oh, you think it's bigger than? I like that.
It's big.
I like
that's
that.
A fun
the Earth is
that's super
huge, and they're not telling us about how big it is. We're like this big on the Earth. You know what I'm saying? And it's
giant. Yeah.
Tartaria, giants, all that good stuff.
See, that's fun.
Well, Tartaria is just part of Russia that got fucking
wiped out.
Yeah, I don't know any of the
words, they said they have mud floods, and then they erased their technology.
The mud floods, man. You got to be careful for those mud floods. They happen all the time.
You guys know about the energy in the buildings too, I take it. You know, the cathedral buildings and how they in Russia with the little bulbs on.
Oh
top,
yeah, conducting.
Energy.
It was just snatching energy at it. It's so, dude. My favorite thing was I was smoking a bowl with my father-in-law.
We're getting so deep on this.
This is just 3 guys who smoke weed and sit on Instagram, dude.
No, dude, I was smoking right. My father-in-law's there with me. We're smoking a joint, and me and him just like the conversation kind of falls out, right? And he's looking down at his phone, so I'm just smoking this joint, and we're like just hanging out, and then about 20 minutes of him not saying anything, he goes, "So what's up with Antarctica?" Yeah. Dude, I laughed. So I was like, "Oh, you're deep over there. You're deep. You're fucking knee deep in it." Just looking at his phone, getting crushed with YouTube Shorts. Dude. Boomers aren't ready for that. Yeah. Like I'm hardly ready. I'm 37. No. They weren't ready.
I see AI video. I'm 33. I see AI videos. I'm like, we're not that far away, dude.
Yeah.
Me not being able to tell.
Yeah, Joe Rogan in it put out like the praying mantis. Yeah. You're like, fuck.
Because it's just.
I'm an idiot. Once they figure the fingers out, we're fucked.
Yeah, we're gonna lose all of our social media literacy as an entire.
You're right, but there's the bright side.
There's the bright side.
Keegan, my bright side. Yeah. I call it the podcast singularity. It's when anything that you actually say on a podcast can be denied as an AI recreation. So you can technically say anything on a podcast.
I might say the N-word.
You're like, dude, that's
let it rip, buddy. Hey, we're close.
I mean, the only person who's really fucking took that in stride was Joe Rogan. Jesus Christ, that didn't stop him.
Or the guy who played Kramer, dude. That guy
but he kind of got crushed after that. Like you don't see him at the clubs.
He did. Here's the thing with Rogan and.
Papa John got crushed.
You hate to see it, but and the same with Papa John.
Yeah, they pivoted to Shaq. They went the whole other way.
Shaq-a-roni.
Get Shaq in here, dude. You can't be racist.
If you say the N-word and you just replace whoever with Shaq, you win. There used to be a time, and again, I'm not saying it's good. I actually think it's bad. Where you could say the N-word.
That's a bad way.
Where you could say the N-word in context, right? And people would do that a lot.
Maybe singing in a song.
Stupid. We should just get rid of all speech, dude.
It's coming. Honestly, that's what the brain chip is coming.
Telepathically, dude. You guys getting the brain chip?
Fuck no. I'm going to be Amish. At that point, I'm out.
We're not getting brain. There's not going to be any brain. There's going to be a solar flare. All this is going to go away. It's just going to come down to who can farm.
Yep.
My sister's going to be fine.
Dude, your sister's going to be fucking killing it.
These freaking psychos were killing animals on videos earlier.
Yeah. Bro, she texted me out of the blue last night, sent me a picture of her husband in the front driveway of the neighborhood, by the way, because they live in a neighborhood.
They live in a subdivision.
They live in...
It's so crazy. To see your neighbor going out.
A neighborhood in a suburb of Minneapolis.
Like your neighbor going out with a bunny.
Actually, I don't think...
What's she doing?
I do have to cut that. Dude, they got she's friends with a cop. And the cop had a deer that was hit by a car and was mostly like, okay.
Sure.
She was like, do you guys want it?
Oh my.
And apparently my sister is the type of white trash that accepted roadkill deer from a cop. And then she sent me a picture of her husband dressed like skinning it and shit on the front driveway.
Yo, dude. Taking roadkill is tough.
People talk about the people down here, and I grew up in Georgia.
The Midwest
people talk about
different.
Rednecks, and they say all this crazy shit about rednecks, brother. We do some of that. For sure, but you guys should be getting just as much shit. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I'm about to pull a video up for you, Keegan. We can't show it on the podcast because it is the front of where my sister lives.
Yeah, I still want to see it.
Just for reference,
this
guys.
Is her husband. The ring camera went off. He's just hosing blood off the driveway.
For the listeners, dude, this is a residential area, and her husband is out there hosing blood off the driveway. Holy shit!
I was saying this often.
If that's your neighbors, you're like, dude, I live next to Dexter. Like, this is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
She fucking snapped the bunny's neck yesterday. There's cops dropping off carcasses.
Yeah.
He's raised so many less sympathetic animals to kill and eat. dude. Like, if you were raising chickens and killing them and eating them, nobody would bat an eyelash.
She has chickens, but for
bunnies
eggs.
are close to puppies, dude, and that's tough.
Yeah, a lot of people did not appreciate that video last week. I got a couple of text messages. That was like, hey, could you have maybe blocked out the feet getting pulled?
Yeah.
I was like, no, that was funny. And then my one friend was like, dude, the tail shake at the end is too much.
Yeah, the bit of that little death throw there at the end.
I mean, I felt in my mind, if I have to see it, everybody else has to see it.
I appreciate it.
I mean, I came home and immediately was like, hey, Christina, check this out. This is cool, right? She's like, I'm going to cry, dude.
I'm just spilling beer.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Guy. So I was going to say, man, we're deep into it, but did you bring a story?
I did.
It's all right, man.
I did bring a story, dude. I would like... Nice. So I thought long and hard about this for you guys. Yeah, no pause, dude.
No
long
pause.
And hard. I got hard thinking about this.
No pause, eye contact.
And I've told a lot of my best stories on my podcast, so I was trying to think about like something that I haven't told 15 fucking times already. So I'll tell you guys about the time I almost got killed.
Nice.
This was probably like high school, late high school, maybe what would have been my freshman year in college. My parents went on a cruise.
To be fair, I think most of us have one near-death experience in that.
Yeah.
Everybody's that dumb as a teenager.
Yeah. This is prime near-death experience.
So they went on a cruise how long?
I think they were gone for like a week. And my parents were like, this was the first time my parents had gone. They'd left, you know what I'm saying?
That's 7 days going for a week.
And I have a younger brother, so I got like a 14-year-old brother at the time or something. So it's like a big responsibility. We're getting out of town. So I'm like, all right, bet. They leave. It's a party nonstop, right? I'm having everybody over. We're doing fun stuff, right? And one of the nights that we were hanging out, the party had died down, everybody had gone home, and it was just me and my buddy Andrew, and we were sitting outside on my front porch. It had to be like 2 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden there was like just a noise, like a loud noise. Neither one of us addressed it. Right, just keep smoking our cigarette, dude. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and then that loud noise happens again, and my buddy Andrew is like, "Yo, that sounds like a person screaming."
Ooh.
And I'm like, no way.
No, dude, that's not what I want to hear.
0% chance that's what that is, dude.
Deep denial.
Chill. That's an animal or something, you know? And then I
heard rabbits can make weird sounds when they're
that's
dying.
That's a coyote, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, like 10 seconds later, I mean, it is a blood-curdling. This is a scream of a woman. There's no doubt. And my buddy Andrew is like, yo, dude, we got to go see what's going on. And I'm like, we don't have to go see what's going on.
If you would like to, you are welcome.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. And my parents live on like a big plot of land. So I'm kind of like, I mean, they can't be that far away because like we're kind of far away. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, all right, whatever. If he's going to go see, I'm not going to let my buddy get killed. Like, let's go see what's going on. So we hop on my buddy.
Somebody's got to call 911.
Yeah, exactly. Like, whatever. But also, my buddy Andrew is a dumbass. So I'm like, the second I get in the car, like the second I say I'm going, I'm driving. You know what I'm saying? Like the second I say I'm going, all of a sudden this is my problem. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's like having empathy through me. You know what I mean? So anyway, we get down my parents' side. We live on like 2.5 acres. So we get all the way down in the driveway. I hang it right out of my parents' driveway. And I get maybe like 100 yards down the road. And there are two people in the middle of the road just fucking swinging at you. I mean, just holding each other by the hair.
Whoa.
Swinging at each other like this. You know. I pull over into the little turning lane. I get out. I say, yo, what's going on? What's going on? Peel these people away. And it's a lady and a guy. Oh, and I see the lady, and she's got blood all down her face. Shit. And the guy is in underwear and a wife beater. And I'm like, yo.
In uniform, you might say.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What are you guys doing? And you know, I'm sort of all over the place, but I'm like, yeah, we hear you guys screaming. Like, what is happening? And then the lady's like, he's trying to kill me. He's trying to fucking kill me. And the guy's like, you guys need to get out of here. And I'm like, well, if you're trying to kill this lady.
Yeah, wait a minute.
He's like, you guys gotta get out of here. I'm about to kill her.
I'm about to kill this
dude,
lady.
Will y'all leave? I'm about to kill her.
And so I'm like, well, we're not leaving. That's crazy. I'm not going to let you kill this lady now that I'm involved. And so I'm like, no, tell me what's going on. Like, and I turned to the lady. I'm like, are you okay? Like, you look pretty busted up. And she's like, he fucking threw a hatchet at me.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, holy cow. And I guess the blunt side of the hatchet had hit her in the top of the head and had split her forehead open. And so she's bleeding all down her face. And I'm like, well, why the fuck did he throw a hatchet at you? She's like, well, I was supposed to be at work.
What did you say?
And I came home.
What did you say?
Yeah, she points over to their home. And I recognize where these people are posted up because this is like across the street from my parents' house. So I'm like, oh, you guys live in the weird, gross trailer thing across from my parents' house.
Y'all are that house. This is what I always pictured.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I'm like, okay,
nice
cool.
to meet you.
Yeah, we're neighbors. Hey.
Nice to meet you,
Bring
guys.
over a pot roast later this week. So I'm like, okay, so you came home from work. You came home early. And she's like, yeah. And him, her husband, or boyfriend, or whatever the fuck he was, and some other guy were fucking this lady together in the house. And so she came home and discovered that, her boyfriend.
This is like an Eminem song.
Yeah, her boyfriend or whatever. And then so she starts like freaking out.
You witnessed an Eminem song.
Yeah, exactly. She starts freaking out, spazzing. She's saying she's going to kill everybody. And she starts looking for a gun, apparently.
Oh, so he was just trying to hit the off switch.
Exactly. And so he threw the hatchet at her to keep her from whatever. So I'm like, okay, this is crazy. I don't want any part of this. So I sort of separate them. And I give the lady to my buddy Andrew. I'm like, listen, you take this lady.
You gave it to her?
I give him to her. I say, listen, I'm going to take this lady back to your car. We're maybe like 25 yards from his car. I said, take this lady back to your car and let me figure out what these people want. But like, let's make sure this lady doesn't get killed.
Crack.
And we'll go from there. So I turned to the homie and I'm like, look, what makes the most sense here to resolve this thing? Because we can call the police, we can do whatever. He goes, well, the main issue is that she's drunk, I'm drunk, my buddy's drunk, everybody's drunk, and we can't drive home. I'm like, no worries, dude. I will drive this lady home right now, and we'll resolve this. He's like, we have to take her car. I'm like, no worries, dude. I'll take her car, dude.
Whatever gets this done.
He's like, cool, man. I get up to her car. I open the door. I sit down. It's a stick shift. Fuck, dude. I can't drive a stick shift, dude. I have no idea how to do this. So I get up and I go, hey, man, I don't know how to drive.
Grinding your way out the driveway.
Yeah, I don't know how to drive a stick shift, so I don't think we're going to be able.
You're like, this car ride home for her is going to cost one transmission.
To do this. Yeah, so I'm sort of like kind of panicked. And he's like, look, man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't want you, like, I don't even understand why you guys are here. And I'm like, well, you're trying to kill a lady, and I'm just trying to help. He's like, all right, whatever. And so I'm like, all right, I think the best thing to do here is to call the police.
Yeah.
I was like, I think, honestly, if, like, the police could come and take this lady home.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, we can't. And when I say the police, bro, he gets all up in my face.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Like,
that would activate somebody.
In my face. And he's like, you do not call the police. He's like, if you call the police, I'm going to jail, she's going to jail, and you're going to jail. And I was like, I'm going to jail. I didn't do anything. There's no reason for me to be going to jail here. So he's like, I'm like, no, that's crazy. And just about this time, there's a gentleman who just like appears.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's what you did.
Yeah. There's just a big guy, like this 6'5" guy in a wife beater and overalls who just appeared. Okay. I guess they had
he's
like
in
another
too.
spot somewhere. Yeah. And this guy just appears out of nowhere. And he's like, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, nothing, dude. These guys are just leaving. And so he's got two guys here, and all of a sudden, like I'm kind of going back and forth and getting a little cagey with these guys. And the big fella's like, "You're gonna like, hey man, we'll fuck you up, dude. You need to get out of here, dude." I'm like, "Whatever, this is crazy. I'm getting out of here."
Yeah, you're like, dude, he hit a lady in the head with a hatchet. He's gonna kill you. He's gonna beat your ass.
And I get back like midway through the road, and my buddy Andrew doesn't know that they're like walking right behind me because it's dark.
No.
And he's like, "Hey man, just to let you know, I did call the cops."
Oh, fuck.
And then it was on.
You're just like, no.
I was like, whoa, you didn't do nothing.
Yeah, this is a fun game we do.
Yeah, you didn't do anything, dude.
Inside joke.
It's a joke,
And the big guy kind of like.
He says that all the time.
Puts it, he's got me like this.
Oh, no.
Fuck.
And I'm looking up at him like this. And he's like, I'm going to kill you. And he's like, we're going to kill you guys. And I'm like, no. I was like, listen, we're not going to do anything. I was like, you guys are going to leave, and I'm going to tell the cops that we didn't see nothing, and my buddy Andrew is a dumbass. I was like,
I don't even fucking know this guy.
I was like, I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want any part of this. You guys fucking leave us alone. And they were like, all right, we're going to leave. And I was like, then leave. And I swear to Christ, I will tell the cops that this was a prank call. Yeah. And they were like, all right, we believe you. And then they got in her car and drove away. And not a minute later comes this, the patrol car. And the guy's like, what was going on? And we told him exactly what happened. And he was like, which way did they go? And I was like, that way. Go get them. And like 6 weeks later, dude, they raided that fucking house.
Oh, yeah.
Just meth, dude. And now a nice Hispanic family lives there. So.
That's a neighbor who will come over and ask for some Benadryl.
Oh, my God.
But it was crazy because we were for sure like, we went back to my mom and dad's house, and my dad's like a gun nut, so we like loaded up a bunch of guns, and we were like, "Yo, these guys are gonna come back and kill us."
You're a kid, and you're scared, but you feel the coolest.
Yeah. It was crazy, and that guy said he was gonna kill me. So
yeah,
it was that's y'all. Be
and
on
it's
the lookout.
your neighbor too. You're like, fuck, you know where they are.
Yeah,
that's scary as shit.
But also, like, who knows, man? I thought, like, in the moment, I was like, yo, are people driving up and down the fucking, back and forth the road or whatever? We sat up till, like, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then my parents came home that next day, and I had forgotten to put any of the guns away, and I got in a bunch of trouble.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. They're like, what is this?
My dad was like, why do you have so many guns out?
We're playing militia, Dad.
They expected to come back to like a party-torn house, and there's just guns everywhere.
Guns everywhere. I was like, I explained it to him. He was like, that's not the real thing. You can't load up a bunch of guns around your 14-year-old brother and then sleep until 11 a.m.
You're like, hey, well, now that you're saying it out loud, you're like, that sucks to come home as a parent. You're like, hey, we called the police on some crazy meth heads last night, and it went poorly.
It was not good.
So now you got to keep an eye out for that, Dad.
Hey, you know the neighbor that keeps coming over and borrowing baking soda?
Yeah. The guy who keeps coming over and asking for Sudafed?
Dude, we had methy neighbors at this apartment complex. They'd knock on your door at 3 a.m. asking for a cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, can I use a cell phone? You're like, fucking no, dude. I'm sure if I gave this to you, I'll never see it again.
The fourth horseman of our apocalypse on the podcast, Chris Moody, was a pretty heavy drug user, heroin and meth. He talks about... He's like, meth is crazy because it's not the drug does anything to you. It's like not sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, you go like 3 or 4 days without sleeping, really, and all of a sudden you see like your brain
going crazy.
Is like everybody's trying to kill you.
Also, the drug is definitely doing stuff to you.
Oh, it's true. Yeah. But I mean, in terms of like the vast majority of that crazy comes
like
from just
the paranoia probably comes from not sleeping. Yeah. But yeah.
We used to have a neighbor that every time you would come home, you would see him out the blinds. Like, as soon as you'd pull your car in, you're like, well, Tracy's up.
Yeah.
I'm that neighbor. But not for meth reasons, just because I look like this and live in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's true.
He would just sit there, though. You're just like, so he's just sitting by that window at all hours, just looking out.
That's correct. Cocaine does that, too, man. I knew some guys in high school that did cocaine, and they would go stand out in the woods.
Ooh.
Just for, like, hours. How's this fun?
No. Apartments are a bad place, especially to do any uppers, because there's nowhere to really go, and it's just all noises. And it is all fucking footsteps. Yeah. You're walking around. Yeah, we had neighbors that got kicked out for meth, and then they came back that night, and they broke in and were stealing the fans out of the ceiling.
Yeah. Copper wire and bullshit.
Well, it was like copper wire. I understand. It was the broken fans. I'm like, what is the resale value?
I got to get back in here and steal that microwave, dude. I bet I could get $40 for that fucking microwave.
And then they just broke that was the first time I ever saw somebody get evicted, where you came home and all their shit was in the front yard. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, these people are going to freak.
I dealt with a lot of I was in storage for a long time. Self-storage.
Oh, man.
Oh, so
that's like...
What's the craziest shit you saw in self-storage?
It depends. I saw a lot of crime.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, just general crime. I got wrapped up in, like, a GBI thing, Georgia Bureau of Investigations thing one time, where, like, a guy was flipping cell phones. Like, he was intercepting boxes of cell phones from Verizon, like from the manufacturing plant to himself.
Whoa.
And then the GBI thought that I was involved, and they tried to honeypot me, dude.
What?
Yeah, the guy, or I guess it was a sting.
Sent a nice lady to come
when
talk
they send
to
a
you?
lady.
Yeah.
He tried to sting me. This guy, he called me. The GBI agent called me and was like, "Hey, it's James," which was the guy who had the unit. And I was like, "James who?" And he was like, James. You help me? And I was like, I don't fucking help anybody, dude. Who are you? And he was like, oh, okay. And then he hung up, and then like 30 seconds later, my boss called me and was like, congratulations, you're no longer a suspect in this crime. And I was like, fucking
he calls you up. He's like, hey, you remember that time you helped me? You like pussy? You're
yeah.
Like, like, actually.
Yeah.
It's like the Veritas people where they used to get those guys.
Exactly.
That's
That's exactly what it was like.
Some
what
guy
good
having
videos those are, though.
Dude, some geek is out, some nerd, he has like 3 fucking whiskeys, and he's like, actually.
I found a gun one time, which was cool, in a
that.
unit full of CP.
So is that like a finders keepers scenario?
Yeah, so that we had a unit. We had a unit where the roof,
the gun, not
the roof had collapsed. And the way it works in storage is like after a certain amount of days, you put an ad out in the paper. If nobody comes and pays the thing, we sell it. That's what happens.
Oh, really? I thought that was just for Storage Wars.
It is just like Storage Wars.
Oh, that's crazy.
But then, when a unit doesn't sell, it's just the store's responsibility to like trash it, essentially.
Yeah. Throw that shit away.
Party line is like, you're not supposed to keep anything, but I'm keeping cool stuff.
Yeah.
And there was one where the roof had collapsed and all the boxes were wet and nobody bought it. And I went through it and found a gun, which was cool. I still have that gun.
Nice.
But the cool thing about that unit was this guy had gone to the trouble of creating like recipe books, like little like handmade recipe books where you would open the book up like a laminated book, and the first page would be like a beautiful handwritten family recipe, and then the next page was gay porn. And then this page was a beautiful recipe, and then gay porn, and then beautiful recipe, and then gay porn. And there were thousands.
Oh, my man was undercover, dude. His fucking wife is like, man, you fucking love that cookbook.
Yeah.
Making a new recipe every night.
You'd have to like really learn how to make pie, or they're like...
I'm like... He was a guy, like me and the lady who worked at this store
not pie,
together.
that's
like
the wrong.
we like Googled this guy's name and found him in the obituary. He was like a guy. He had a family. Eventually, his family did come by and were like, "Hey, was there anything in this unit?" And we were just like, "Nah,
nothing."
Yeah,
nothing. You don't. I mean, that's like your IRL like search history. That's crazy.
And before he died, he had like moved the unit into like a homie's name.
Oh, so he's really.
He was like, "Yo, homie, you gotta make sure." And then that homie died, and then that happened.
Shit! Yeah, he didn't want to get outed. That sucks to get outed after your death.
But it's like, what do you?
But who cares?
But like,
no, but for your family, they're like, God damn, dude, that was a fucking freak.
Yeah, but that honestly is hilarious.
It was so funny.
Like I lost my grandpa last summer, not close, but if I had found out like some wild shit about him. Like now, I would be like, holy shit, that guy.
He loves apple pie and rock hard cocks, dude. You found out that your grandpa loves.
He makes it
like if I found out my grandpa was like an OG drag queen.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. There was a lot of naked pictures, dude. I can't even count the amount of times I was just junking something and you just like, oh, there's like a whole bunch of family photos, and it's like, nope.
Yeah,
that's just Polaroids. A whole bunch of people who were fucking.
Yeah, Polaroid's the first dick pic.
Yep.
You had to wait on it.
Yep. The scariest was I worked in a unit for the longest time where I was just like big indoor unit all by myself, and occasionally I would stumble across somebody in a unit.
Whoa,
which
that
was
is terrifying.
Like living in a
horrific.
unit.
Yeah, one time I rolled the unit up on a lady who was naked, like inside of the unit, and she screamed. I jumped. I was so scared. I'm like, I quit like 3 weeks later. I was like, this is insane.
Is it bad that I have tossed around the idea of being like, how hard would it be to get away with living in one of those fuckers?
Very hard.
Very hard.
But for an employee, dude, I had my own unit and I had a TV. I ran power in there. I would bring my PlayStation
in there.
I would put the sign up on the door that said, I'm out on the property. If you need me, you call my cell phone. Pause Madden, close my unit.
Hey, man, I'll be out there in 10. It's a ranked game.
Exactly. Keep a tight ship. Nobody ever gave a shit. One time my district manager had to check some film, and saw me in the office playing Madden and turned to me and was like, we're just going to pretend like I didn't see that. And if you do it again, I have to fire you. And I was like, you got it, boss.
Yeah. This is awesome. The warning. I'm going to be chill about it, but you don't get a third.
Yeah, there's not going to be a third. It's just the one time.
You got anything to promote? I think we did it.
Nah, dude. I'm going to be in Villa Rica on the 25th.
Hell yeah.
With Scotty McBrayer.
You got your podcast.
A Beautiful Losers podcast.
Yeah, check it out, man.
Very fun.
Good Answer. We're doing the Good Answer at the Helium again. It looks like on hold on.
Which sounds fun. What is the concept of the show? It's almost like Family Feud, you said?
We do Family Feud. So Good Answer, me and TJ and Zach Hadlock. And awesome. I mean, the homies from the podcast have obviously been involved in sort of the conceptualizing of it. But we sort of came up with this idea one day on the podcast of like, wouldn't it just be fun to have like Family Feud, but with comics?
Yeah, that is fun.
And
that's a good idea.
Yeah. So we kind of tossed it around. Chris Moody was like, yo, we could have Yoshi be Steve Harvey, you know? And we were like, yeah. So, and I think we're having Yoshi on this time and those guys. Dude. So
that's
Yoshi
so fun.
rules. That's awesome.
I think we've got everybody locked up. So the 9th is at 4:30. It's a matinee, or the 6th. Fuck, let me get the date because it's important.
I can put it into a post right now. You can send it to me, and I'll put the flyer up.
Dumbasses have just been texting each other.
What do you got going on? What do you got coming up?
Shit. Let's see. The Shed.
Oh yes, dude, their Instagram's popping now.
Yeah, no, Corey's been going for it.
Yeah, it's really.
The Shed is the 14th. It is. We're no longer booking comedy, but we'll probably do like a weird little open mic at the end.
Nice.
Treefort's playing. There's a different set of opening bands. It's going to be fun as hell. Lee is probably going to be on crutches because of his injury.
Dude, that's fucking
R.I.P.,
rad.
dude.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
June 7th, 4:30, Helium Comedy Club in the other room. Sorry.
Nice, man.
I'll
be there.
What time? Yeah, I'd like to swing through Saturday. Fuck yeah.
Saturday,
I'd like
matinee.
to say thank you to everybody that's been sharing our clips. We had a clip on Instagram kind of go off, so thank you to everybody that's been liking it, sending it to people. And I did record my first rough draft of the Conspiracy Lullabies. I did a proof of concept.
Oh, I like it.
So our first song is Building 7 is Falling Down in the tune of London Bridge.
Let's go, dude.
I love it.
Let's go. 100 episodes, guys.
Thank you so much,
100 fucking episodes. Y'all put that thing in a thing. Put it on the table. Celebrate, dude. Joe Paterno. Football legend Joe Paterno, guys.
Just turn your...
Football legend and bad person.